Do you struggle to fall asleep at night? Do you find yourself sleeping less than 7 hours a night? Perhaps maybe your lack of sleep has started to affect your quality of life. If you found yourself thinking yes to any of those questions, then this would be a worthwhile learning resource to check out. My name is Brian Ta, and I thank you for your time in viewing my presentation over Get Better Sleep, a website and learning resource for individuals to start learning about and developing healthy sleep habits. Mission statement: to guide busy individuals towards developing healthy and maintainable sleep habits. So I created a website that hosts learning content about the inhibitors of sleep, consequences of sleep deprivation, and benefits of healthy sleep habits, and how the Mediterranean diet and mindfulness can promote sleep. I created individual pages for these main bucket items so that users are able to read through them and come to understand what habits they should avoid, what habits they should try to incorporate, and why the sleep program is set up the way that it is. Its overview. So my primary customer will be Kay, the benefits specialist at my current company. So on top of managing employee benefits, she also distributes information about personal health through a wellness corner that is hosted on an internal website. So this project is intended to supplement her collection of resources. Now, my target audience will be employees at my current company. Their age demographic mostly falls within the millennials and Gen X generations, but I'm also trying to appeal to the Gen Z employees through the Instagram account associated with my project. Now, many of my audience members are parents, and I think that this learning resource will help them build relevant habits that they can incorporate before bed and even throughout the day in order to get better sleep, even if they have little ones running around. So this right here is a screenshot of the Instagram account that is associated with my project. I'm essentially taking a lot of the materials from the actual website into a Instagram post so that it's really easy to digest and so that it can appeal to my Gen Z audience members. As I mentioned earlier, I created pages for my identified learning topics related to healthy sleep. And they're going to be shown in this screenshot in the top right corner. And all these different pages are going to help guide my users to understand why the sleep program is structured the way that it is. So that's going to be represented by the sleep tracker that is shown in the following slide. Now, the importance of sleep page as well as the consequences of sleep deprivation page will be very important because they're going to encourage users to really commit to changing their sleep habits and to follow the Get Better Sleep program. Tracker right here allows users to document their sleep habits, and this is going to be hosted entirely on a Google Sheets that is embedded onto my Google site. Now, this tracker will allow users to identify behaviors that are unfavorable to providing better sleep, and so that they can adapt them accordingly to the knowledge that is provided within the different website pages. Now, as part of the Get Better Sleep tracker, there is also a sheet in there that has a trend chart similar to this. Now, it's not going to be plugged in because this is actually from a video tutorial that is associated with the tracker that will guide users on how to use it. Now, in this example, we have the blue line representing sleep quality improving throughout the program, whereas in the red line, we have the screen time actually going earlier in the night. So if we look on the right y-axis, we're starting up top at 12 a.m. and at the bottom, it's going to be 7 p.m. So as we progress through this 25-day program, we can see that we're using our electronic devices earlier and earlier into the night, which is promoting a higher quality of sleep. Main findings. So I learned a lot about daily behaviors that can inhibit sleep, especially in regards to melatonin. So, for example, use of electronic devices can suppress the production of melatonin due to the emission of blue lights. On the other hand, I learned that eating cherries can promote better sleep since they have higher concentrations of melatonin. And that leads me to the Mediterranean diet, which is my favorite topic to learn about during this project. And other habits that promote sleep include practicing mindfulness through yoga and meditation, restricted fluid intake at least 2 hours before bed, and limiting naps to no later than early afternoon and less than 30 minutes at a time. Now, I also have to mention the consequences of sleep deprivation. I knew that it was bad, but I didn't know that having less than 5 hours of sleep within the last 24 hours while driving equates to a similar level of impairment as intoxicated driving. This speaks to how much we really need sleep, even though we as humans consciously sacrifice it on a regular basis. Sleep supports our bodily health, so it lowers risk of neurodegenerative diseases, heart diseases, obesity, etc. But it can also support our cognitive functions and our physical performance. We cannot react, think, learn, or commit thoughts into long-term memory as well as we could as if we were well rested. The mental toll is also really huge. So, sleep deprivation goes hand in hand with depression and poor control of emotions. If we feel moody and irritable, this can affect our relationships with our loved ones. And I feel like this is reason enough to want to commit to building healthy sleep habits. This screenshot right here is going to be from my website, and this is going to include the different food items that are part of the Mediterranean diet, which I spoke so highly of in the previous slide. Throughout my project, I incorporated a variety of multimedia elements. I implemented text, graphics, and videos, giving my users a more dynamic learning experience, since no one wants to just stare at a wall of text. Now, I did use text as a straightforward way to deliver information, but I also used it to support graphics and videos to account for the accessibility and inclusivity aspects of this project. For example, I included alternative text and captions for my graphics, and I provided captions and brief descriptions for implemented videos as well. I even included a transcript for one of the videos that I created. Though most of the videos are embedded from YouTube, so YouTube provided the in-video captions in that regard. As for graphics, I created some of the graphics, such as the one in the middle showing box breathing. For these graphics, I used Canva as well as Microsoft PowerPoint. And I also implemented graphics from the internet, looking at the yoga poses on the left. So I pulled that one from Very Well Health. And I chose this graphic because it's going to help my users really understand the different yoga poses that can help promote sleep. And this right here is going to be a lot easier to understand relative to a description of text. So this is going to help support my learning objectives because practicing mindfulness, represented by meditation and yoga in this project, will be one of the strategies for getting better sleep. Now, I also did embed a video to show the different ways that sleep can affect our brain. And this video is going to be the Institute, or rather by the Institute of Human Anatomy. I thought it was really awesome because it included a brain prop as well as diagrams so that users are able to see how our brain, one of our most vital organs, is going to be affected by sleep or the lack thereof. Assessment plan. So my assessment plan is based on two different items. One, I included a review quiz through Google Forms for each major learning topic. And each quiz is going to consist of 5 questions worth 20 points each for a total of 100 points. And this is going to allow users to review the information that I found to be the most important. And once users complete and submit their quizzes, they're able to view their results immediately. Now, these forms, hosted by Google Forms, also record and keep track of all of the submitted quizzes as well as their results. Two, I included a feedback form that is also hosted on Google Forms. And in this form, I used both Likert scale survey questions and open text questions. So the Likert scale questions will inquire about the user's overall satisfaction, clarity of information, ease of navigation, the helpfulness of quizzes and general learning content, and the accessibility and inclusivity of the resource. Meanwhile, the open text questions ask about the user's favorite aspect, any potential improvements, and general comments and concerns. This feedback form is optional to users, of course, since I cannot necessarily require them to fill it out. But my hopes are that users will have gained at least some new knowledge and growth out of this program that they would feel inclined to submit a feedback form. So, course takeaways. I learned a ton of different things this semester, but the thing that really stuck with me is accessibility and inclusivity, and such as the idea of providing multiple avatar options in VR applications so that users can experience a greater sense of embodiment and ultimately engagement. Now, I also learned a lot about maker spaces, which made me think, wow, I wish I had knowledge of and access to places like this in high school when I was an aspiring engineer. And I loved learning about new tools such as Canva, Poll Everywhere. I actually started using that one at work. Poplet, Explain Everything, Goose Chase. This app, I'm actually using it as a team building activity during a senior management conference that I'm helping set up. So, with that being said, that wraps up my presentation. Thank you so much for your time, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your day.